Hey, it's Kyle. I'm here with Robbie. We're going to do a factory tour, and we're going to talk about all of the cool new things that Hiker has come out with since you probably last saw another video on all of the updates that we did. Well, I did an update probably a year ago here at the Hiker Trailer factory whenever I picked up my mid-range XL, but they've got a lot of new stuff that's come down the pipe. So, Robbie, let's take a look at some of this new stuff.
Sounds good.
We got the first thing right over here, don't we?
Yeah, let's get started with what's in front of us.
Okay.
So, a couple things that we mentioned. About last November, December, we started upgrading to our new fridge box model. So, there were a couple design features that we wanted to improve based on some feedback on our fridge box. First thing was we wanted to fit slightly larger fridges. Especially because the dual zone fridges tend to be on the 55 to the 70 liter or quart size.
Yep.
So we sized this out with Truma, who was our preferred fridge vendor at the time. So this will fit a 69 or a 70 quart fridge. We've had a lot of people put Icecos, Dometic 55s, but we guarantee it'll fit a Truma 70 or C69, which is their dual zone version. A couple other things that we wanted to do with this. We also wanted to improve the seal on the doors. So it is now sealed on all four sides of the doors. Reason being is just when you are driving through rougher conditions or heavy rain or, you know, kind of the dirty, muddy areas, it just keeps some of that gunk and moisture out of there.
Yeah.
It is still not a waterproof box because there are mounting holes in the bottom and weep holes in the bottom. So it is weatherproof where it counts, but it is not going to be watertight by any means. So if you drive it through, you know, standing water, you'll have water in the box for sure.
Yeah. I really haven't noticed that the water that I found in my fridge box came from the top, and it rolled down one of the sides and got into the sides.
Sure.
And then I just put weather stripping
Yep.
on one of the sides, and knock on wood, I understand that it's not waterproof, but man, does it keeps out the water.
Yeah, and everybody's fridge box, you know, works a little bit differently because of the way the old style doors worked. But these new style doors, because the weather strip is here and the new exterior door seals on the entire outside instead of doing a flush seal, this is just going to be that extra layer of protection, so you shouldn't have to worry about that anymore.
I like the new handles too.
Yeah, that was another thing that people had asked us to do, was come up with a better handle design. So we did work with the manufacturer partner on this just to get a better handle. It opens both ways. It's flush mount on the outside, so if you close it here, it's not going to hit something. So overall, you know, we've kind of checked off all the boxes on the wish list for the first round of improvements to the fridge box. We soft launched this last year because we had 3 months of orders to work through. And it also required us to update the frame sizing slightly on all of our models. So we had to kind of slowly roll through that, but this is the new standard since January 1 for sure. Anybody who's ordered since then will be getting this style.
I noticed down here, there's been a bunch of questions about why does your stripping here hang down below the bottom of the Hiker. Can you just talk about that for a little bit?
Yes, so that vinyl molding will shrink when it reacts to the UV exposure being outside. So usually within the first year, you're going to lose a couple inches of length depending on the size of it. So we like to cut them a little bit long because other people will cut it to fit. So it looks nice when you buy it, but then every year you're having to buy you know, a few dozen feet of extra vinyl molding to replace it so it always looks like it fits.
Yeah.
It's purely a cosmetic piece. All this does is hide the screw holes that are underneath of it. So instead of just that kind of silver studded look, this is just kind of a cleaner look and it covers those. It doesn't have anything to do with waterproofing. It is just that purely cosmetic thing to hide those screw heads. So we cut it long just so that it shrinks into place. Customers are more than able to, you know, if you just want to cut it to trim it to fit, feel free. We're going to provide you extra value and not have to make you repurchase it from us every year to fit.
And you can get this from Hiker.
Yeah, we sell it online. We sell it by the foot. So if you wanted to get extra pieces to replace something that maybe has shrunk, you
Yeah.
can get that from us directly.
Gotcha. Let's take a look at the receiver hitch
Yeah.
over here.
So in part of redesigning a little bit of the tongue length on our trailers, we also took a look at the front mount spare. So we've made them removable now. Reason being is because sometimes this tire just is so big and massive that if you are, hauling gear here, it's nice to just be able to take it off and store it somewhere else for a moment if you're doing like a special one-off trip. But we also envisioned some future accessories that might be able to be fit in there. So it's just a regular 2x2 inch receiver that we've added to the trailer there. And then we use a regular hitch pin, 5/8 hitch pin, just like in your car that you hook up with your hiker trailer. And then there's a tensioning bolt in there too. The tensioning bolt is so that this doesn't rock back and forth and cause a lot of that motion or sound when you're towing. So, it's just a nice option just to be able to take it off for whatever reason.
Gotcha. Hey, I noticed something over here.
Okay.
What is this?
So that is the propane inlet for one of our propane heaters. That is for, I believe, the Propex version. We also use the Vario Heat by Truma. So that is where the propane tank connects to the heater, and then the heater runs on the inside of the trailer to heat everything up.
Very good. So let's take a look at the Highway Lite.
Okay.
You've got, I think, a couple over here. So
Yeah.
let's take a look at those.
Yeah, I don't know where our prototype is right now. I know we might have sent it to a showroom. We've got
It's
a few.
missing.
Not missing, just it gets a lot of use. It's been a popular demo unit for sure. And we've sent some to our remote showrooms for people to see in person as well.
Gotcha.
Because it has been pretty popular, but we just finished a few last week that we can take a look at.
Let's take a look. Look at all of these hikers ready to go out the door. That green really pops.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, we got two hiker lights here.
Yeah, this is
what should
part
we
of
know
our,
about 'em?
well, this is part of our overflow area. So these we finished up last week off the production line, and one is waiting for its virtual inspection, and the other one, I believe, has already been completed and is waiting on the next truck to go out to our Arizona remote showroom for pickup. But yeah, feel free to take a look around. So these are the Highway Lights. Very much like the bigger brothers, you can do almost all of the options and accessories. We do limit a few things on it just because of the size and weight. For example, we do get the question, do we do the rooftop air conditioners on these units? We do not right now, just because the units are a little bit too heavy and large for what we want to do, so we are trying to find an air conditioning solution for those. We've heard that feedback and are working on it, but right now we don't offer that at the moment. And then this does have the slightly different galley configuration with the double pass-through, which is something we are able to do on the larger 5-foot versions on the other models. This was the first trailer we did that on, just so that we could allow better access for the power station access, because the power stations actually go on the middle shelf here instead of the bottom shelf like a traditional hiker.
Gotcha. And then this is for your outside lights? Or
that I don't know, honestly. That could be for the galley light, because the galley light is in here a little bit different. So because we don't have the extra 6 to 8 inches of space, we do have to do a couple things differently. So usually we've got our brake lights here, and then usually we try to hide some of our wiring here in the construction. So we are kind of placing a couple switches in a different spot, just so that, and you can see how light it is.
It's so light.
It moved when you just closed the door.
So, yeah, we've got the lights back here. On a typical MR or MRXL, they're on the side.
Right, you have, again, about
Yeah.
6 inches on either side of the door where you can fit those kind of things.
Gotcha. And then it has the stabilizer jacks, just like all of your other trailers, right?
In principle, yes, but it is a different model compared to the
Yeah.
others. So working with aluminum, we're not able to weld on as many accessories, so we've had to do a lot of bolt-on things. So those actually get bolted on, and they're a little bit of a different model, but yes, same principle.
Same principle. And then I think, tell me if this is, I remember this, you had a smaller window in the Skunk Works
In the prototype version, we
but
did.
this is a regular size
Correct.
window, right?
So the feedback from that original first one was it was just a little bit too difficult to open because of this being a smaller, different model and the way the hinges work. So we just put our normal windows in, just because they're very reliable and everybody's very familiar with those.
Yep. Same type of fender.
Yep. Same fender, mounted the same way, so you can still stand on it.
And then the tongue here, do you offer a truck box here?
We
model?
offer smaller ones.
Smaller one, yes.
We do limit the size, just not only because it's only 4 feet wide and some of our boxes are longer than that in terms of width, but again, we want to be very cautious and aware of the tongue weight of these models, especially with their intended use of being towed by smaller vehicles. The tongue weight restrictions most people don't realize is probably what you're going to run up against first before the tow weight restriction with a model like this.
And some of the same interior options?
As many as we could, yes. And again, the accessories, you can still get outside lights, max fan, power stations, or a battery.
Yep.
We've discussed doing heaters on these. I don't think we've had anybody order it with a heater yet, but I do believe we will support installing a propane-powered heater on these if someone were to desire one. And again, you get to choose your color and your diamond plate to make it look however you'd like as well.
Nope. Very good. Anything else? Talk about the Highway Lite?
No, I mean, that's the basics of it, right? You know, we wanted to have something that's super affordable, super lightweight, and I think we've really hit the nail on the head with the Highway Lite, and that's the feedback from the customers and the first few owners that have gotten this. It launched in September, so the first one started delivering late December and January. So we've had a lot of good feedback from the first owners of these, and we do see, you know, this being a model to be around with Hiker for a very long time.
Notice this one has got trailer brakes.
Yes, so brakes are actually included as a standard on the Highway Lite.
Oh, okay.
Those are an optional extra on every other Hiker. Again, the reason being that really lightweight, smaller tow vehicle, brakes are a much more critical decision, so we just decided to make them standard.
Very good. Yeah, it's Highway Lite. What is the base weight on this?
The prototype was 781 pounds, and it's probably been around 750 to maybe 810 pounds on the first dozen or so we've built. So, you know, we're probably sticking with 775 on average based on our numbers that we test here. Even with the spare tire on it, the tongue weight on these is
pretty light.
Not too bad. That's probably 65 pounds if I had to estimate. But if you want to check this one here without the tire on it, this one's going to be even easier. I'm pretty sure you can do it with the camera in your hand, no problem.
Yep. Oh.
Well, no problem relative, right?
I'm a scrawny man here.
But again, super easy to move around and maneuver. So we've had some feedback for people that, you know, if they're afraid of backing up, they'll just find a campsite and kind of guide it in by hand to finish it up to where they want it to be perfectly parked. So
very good. If you got any questions about these, they are on the Hiker website.
Yes, so they are not in the builder just yet, but if you go to the Highway Lite model page, you can submit an order form to our team to request a quote. But we do hope to have these added to the builder later this summer, so you can save them alongside just every other Hiker model as well.
Very good. Thanks, Robbie.
You're welcome.